Hey, Minnesota Mark here. Thought we'd talk a little bit about ride plates and intake grates. So we'll go through a few. I have a few here. It basically comes down to what kind of riding you're going to be doing, whether you're a recreational rider, a buoy rider, corner rider, whatever you do, freestyle. There's so many different ride plates and intake grates. I'm going to go through a few so you kind of get an idea of the differences. I'm sure somebody's done this before, but you know what? I thought I'd review it, and this is all about the 445/50. The rest of the stuff, you're on your own. Have to talk to somebody you know, but this is what I have here, and this is what we can go through. So I guess we'll kind of talk about what we got here and kind of start where it all began. This here ride plate is a 440 ride plate. Usually has a hole in it, and this is a stock OEM 550 plate. Now the 550 plates ran about a little more than an inch longer than the 440s. You know, you can swap them out, but I mean, obviously you get rid of a 440 and go to the 550. So I'll show you kind of what the stock ride plate looks like on a hull. It's pretty smooth. I mean, it's pretty slippery. But hey, if that's your thing, that's where it's at. So that's where we all started with that ride plate. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of traction there, but that was where they started with. That's what you get OEM original and stock on the 550s. So moving on to another plate. PJS also made a plate. They have a few different ones. This one is almost identical to the OEM original. Basically, all it says is PJS on it. I mean, it's pretty much the same. But they make a few different varieties of that. Then we move on to another one that's an Ocean Pro. They have a couple different designs. This one gives you, you know, a little bit of skags in the back, some fins. And this is what this plate looks like sitting on a hull. You can see the difference on height, cornering. It's not quite as slippery. Some people, that's their ride plate. Some people, it's not. Whatever you might like, somebody else might not be for their type of riding. Moving on to another Ocean Pro. This is another Ocean Pro. It's got a different bottom on it. Kind of give you some idea what's going on that. It's a little different design. But like I said, they all are good. It's just what is your thing. That's what it comes down to. Another ride plate. This is all these that we were talking about were pretty much all cast ride plates. This is a punched aluminum bent. This is a rend with skags. I'm a fan of the skags. Pretty much all my plates I use have skags on them. And this is what this plate looks like. That one's a little longer, as you can see. It sticks out a little farther. So you got to be a little careful, but it doesn't stick out like the 750 pumps do. So, but I like that ride plate. It's a nice ride plate. It's got a little different design on it. That's a Rend. This here is a West Coast, basically very similar to the OEM plate, but it's got skags on it. This is pretty much what I want, a type of ride plate that I run on all my skis, just to get that a little more traction and keeping the boat going straight when you get up there in speed. So something with skags in it is always great. And then the only other one would be probably the Pro Watercraft over here, which is a 3-skag ride plate. So that's what they look like. Like I said, I'm a skag rider. I like the skags on them. But whatever works for you, them are some options there. So next, we'll kind of go into some intakes. Intakes are a big deal. There are so many different varieties, so many different manufacturers. Here's basically the OEM original. That's what it came with. That's what they look like. As you can see, everything's pretty much smooth. It's basically just to keep your fingers out of there and toes. So that's it's pretty basic. But again, that's exactly where it started. And then going from here, they kind of ran with a. This is actually a skull intake. I just got this not too long ago. But I set this on here. You'll see how it's still pretty flush with the bottom of the hull. It's a 2 grate rather than a 3 grate. It probably has a little deeper pickup right in this area here. But really, that's kind of where the intakes kind of started to evolve. So that's a starting point. As you can see looking down the hull, I mean, it might pop up just a little bit more, get a little more water in your pump. But like I said, whatever your riding is and whatever you're trying to do and your weight all come into factor. This here is a West Coast. Now this one's going to give you a little more for cornering. You'll see it sits up a little higher in the hull. It's a little deeper. So that's kind of what that will do. Not a huge difference, but like I said, that's where the kind of the intake started from. Moving on from there, this is an old Precision, which was kind of a real mini top loader. It's pretty smooth, but it does load the pump on the top. It's not real aggressive, so it's not going to really suck your boat to the water, but it will add a little more water into your pump. But like I said, it's a pretty smooth grate. It really doesn't stick up at all. But them are options. This here is a jet line. I haven't even tried this one yet. I try to keep these in hand for people that want to try them out, see what they like. Now you'll see and notice that is a whole different design on that. I've never tried it before, but it does stick up above the hull a little bit. And if you look at the front, from the front of the ski, you'll kind of get an idea of how much it's scooping and what kind of angle. Almost all of these top loaders have different angles on them, and I have no idea if they really actually determine how the flow is and actually ran it through some type of machine to see a smoke or whatever them machines are to kind of see exactly how it loads the pump. I don't know, but just everybody has a different idea back in the day, and they were trying whatever they could. This is a what the heck is it? A Jet Pro. I haven't even tried this one, but as you can see, this one's got a whole different design to it. It's really loading the pump. It doesn't really, I mean, if you look down the front of the ski, you will see how the front paddle will load the top of the pump. Like I said, different designs, how they suck the boat to the water. As we get into some of these other ones, you will notice, or I like how it really sucks the boat to the water, especially for heavier riders. And depending on, like I said, what kind of riding you're doing. I'm a recreational rider, so these are ones that I pretty much run. Here's a PGS one, different design on that too. So a whole lot of different choices. So you kind of take a look at that and how far that sticks up. If you look at the front, you'll see how much it really actually loads the pump. A whole different angle on the paddles. So it's one of them things that you really need to try and see what works for you. Here's a Mariner top loader. Some people really like this. As you can see, it's kind of a split. It's open in the middle, but it still is loading the pump in a different angle, different direction. And if you kind of take a look at the front of the boat, you will notice how it just kind of is smooth, but will load the pump and keep the bottom of the pump and the middle of the pump loaded too. It's just different designs, different ideas, different jokes for different folks. Right, George?
That's right, Mark.
Here'd be my favorite. This here is the R&D. This is my favorite one. But like I said, what mine is maybe not be your favorite. But if you take a look at that, you'll see it sits up a little higher on the hull. And then when you come to the front of the ski, you will see how the back one will load the pump and the front one will, but there's a different height on them. But like I said, this is all for you to kind of see how they load, because if you don't have all these, you really don't have an idea what it looks like when you're looking down the hull. So moving on from there, we have a, what the heck is this? I just borrowed from a friend of mine. This is a Jet Dynamics. Never tried this one, but this is the design on this. It's kind of a crazy, funky looking thing. Looks like, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe a bird. But
like an airplane.
An airplane. So that's got a whole different design. And when you come up here in front, you will see how it will load. There's a section of water coming, loading the top and the back. They both stick up at different heights. So you'll kind of see how it loads that pump in a different way. But like I said, you just got to try them. And that's one of the reasons why I have all these around here, is for people to try and say, hey, you know, that's my top loader or that's my ride plate. But at the end of the day, it's all fun, and it just all depends what you want to do and how much you enjoy certain things, wreck riding, chasing buoys. So I guess that's really about it. That's what I wanted to cover today. Other than that, man, go out there, enjoy. God bless. Hey, spring's here, or it is here in Florida. I know it's coming to Minnesota and up north, but that's going to take a little while yet. But get out there, enjoy, and God bless, and have a little too much fun, and rock and roll.